Roll out!
Hello and welcome to That's Just Prime, and today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Beast Wars Optimus Minor, and I love this toy. Originally released in 1999, he was part of the Transmetals 2 line, and he originally retailed for approximately $5. Imagine a time when you could get a basic size figure for $5. I remember those days. Now, you may be wondering why I'm doing Optimus Minor. It doesn't seem like he would really fall into the Optimus Prime or fall into like a That's Just Prime figure. Well, if you go back and watch the very first episode of That's Just Prime, I talked about when I got back into collecting back at around 2000, 2001 with the release of RID. And I had a friend that worked at a comic book store, and he got me these two posters. One of them was called Megatron Generations, and the other one was called Optimus Prime Generations. And they depicted different versions, just about every version of that character that had been come up with up to that point. Remember, we're talking about 2000, 2001 now. So that poster, I just fell in love with the Optimus Prime. Well, both of them really, but I just fell in love with that Prime poster, and that's the one that I looked at and said, I want to recreate this poster with toys. And that's the one that got me kind of collecting Optimus Primes, and eventually, it took me about 10 years, but I was able to track down every figure that was depicted on that poster. This guy right here, Optimus Minor, was depicted in that poster, and that's why I include him as part of That's Just Prime, and he is also included in my Prime collection. He sits on my shelf with all my other Primes. So he was definitely going to be included in this series. Now, here in this mode, he's supposed to be a cybernetic ape. However, as you can see, he has a tail. So I guess that makes him a monkey. I don't know. You make up your mind. But here in this cybernetic ape mode, he's approximately 4 inches tall. And this guy is super articulated. Starting right off with the tail. The tail is cool because the tail, as many Beast Wars figures did, the tail is going to detach to become a weapon. So as you saw, I had it just kind of off to the side like that, which is kind of dynamic. It looks very cool. You could also rotate it over to the other side if you want to just display it like that. That works also. And then if you want to do some really dynamic poses, you can also plug it in straight in, and you can have the tail straight up like that, or you can turn it down and it can kind of help as a third leg for some really dynamic posing if you want to do so. So the tail works really good. Unfortunately, because of the way this transforms, the head doesn't have any articulation in this mode. But everything else, you've got a shoulder. The shoulder has a rotation right here. Actually, the shoulder is on a ball joint. So you've got up and down, you've got a rotation, you got forward, backward, and then you've got a pin joint right there at the outside of the shoulder for swivel there. You've got a ball joint at the elbow, and then you've got a ball joint at the wrist. You've got a ball joint at the hip right here. You have another pin joint at the thigh right there. You got a pin joint, and then you got another ball joint there. So you got another ball joint there. You got another ball joint right here at the bottom of the, I guess, the knee. And then down here, the foot is on a swivel as well. And this is split in half for something we're going to see later. So the toes are somewhat individually jointed in pairs. So a lot of range of motion with this guy. Really cool little figure. I really like it a lot. Detail, you can see he's, again, cybernetic ape, so he's going to have the organic mixed in with the mechanical. You've got that. I really like that nice gold-plated chest right there, but you can see hair detail right here on the outsides of the chest. Lots of hair detail on his extremities, right there on the head. The legs have a lot of hair detail, and then the toes look very organic as well. So he passes off as like what a transmetal animal would look like. I think he does a pretty good job of looking that way. Transformation for this guy is really interesting. First thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the tail. And again, it really does amaze me how many different ways they found to take a somewhat humanoid figure and turn him into another humanoid figure. So we're going to start off with the arms. We're just going to straighten out the arms and then flip them around. Oh, real quick before I forget, there's this little Maximal crystal right there. You can see it right in there. There you go. That's a good shot of it right there. So Maximal crystal right in there. So take the arms, point them straight up. We're going to take the legs also take them straight out to the sides, and then turn them around so that the outside, this kind of like armor, thigh armor, is pointing straight down. And we're going to take the whole head, and it's going at this joint. There's a little joint right there. This whole thing is going to swivel forward just like so. And then this whole gold piece is going to slide down all the way like so. So now we're going to hold our figure this way. Basically, we're flipping the figure around. And we're going to turn these guys down and around and straighten out what was the hands. We're going to turn it so the knees are forward. And what was the hands are now going to be the feet. Straighten out the arms as well. Straighten out the hands. What was the feet are now the hands. And then the head. The head is interesting. The head's going to split open. And these two halves, you just kind of have to rotate them out of the way. There's no real, like, official way of doing it. What I like to do is I like to get them as flat as possible so that they're not intruding on the actual robot head. Make sure that this gold piece is up as far as it'll go. And then this head's just going to come up and over. And it's going to sit right there on the top between the shoulders. It doesn't click into place. It just kind of sits there. And just getting them all straightened out. And there is Optimus Minor in robot mode. And I think he looks pretty cool. Here in robot mode, Optimus stands about 4 inches tall. So he really didn't change in height. You know, he basically, all he did was flip upside down. He flipped the to the back side as well. So now he's got a more kind of a cybernetic chest. And he's got a robot head now. As for articulation, again, same thing. We've got a little bit more articulation now because the head does have a swivel. Let's see. Is that all it's on a ball joint? But here's the thing. The ball joint doesn't really accomplish much because of how low the head sits there on that joint, or on that panel rather. So really all you're going to get out of it is a rotation. Again, same articulation. So you got ball joints on the shoulder, on the interior of the shoulders, and then you got a swivel right there on the outside of the shoulders. Another ball joint right up here at the top of this outside shoulder there. So you got that swivel there. And then you've got another ball joint right there at the elbow for bringing the arms in. And you can also rotate them. Nothing at the waist, but again, the hips are ball jointed all over the place. Ball jointed knees and ball jointed ankles. So this guy can go all over the place. This guy is super articulated, and you can pull off some really, really cool poses with it. He does have an attack here. You can see these two little pin joints right here. The arms kind of split in half. And the thing about this guy, the backstory on this guy, was that he was supposed to be like some kind of a weird cloning experiment by Megatron. Like he was trying to clone Optimus Prime. So he was doing like these weird cloning experiments on apes. And filling them with rage and whatnot. So this guy was supposed to have like anger issues. Obviously, he escaped Megatron's experimentation. He joins the Maximals, but he's supposed to have like these anger issues. That he's supposed to be extremely quick. So his attack, I don't really know if his character would have actually split his hands like this and then just spin them, or if this is supposed to depict how quickly he's attacking you, that it looks like he's got 4 arms. But it's one or the other. And either way, I think it's pretty cool. So I'm going to put those back together again, get his arms straightened out. Let me bring him in close for the head. Because even though he's not supposed to be exactly Optimus Prime, he's supposed to be a clone of him. You can see the Optimus Primal, rather. You can see the influence of Optimus Primal in his head sculpt. You got that crest right there in the middle, and then you got with the antennas off to the side, and then the ape head to go along with it. So it's very reminiscent of Transmetals Optimus Prime, the first Transmetals Optimus Prime, the one that had the flying surfboard. And then finally, you can bring in his tail whip. He's got a little peg inside each of his hands. Actually, no, I'm lying. Inside his right hand, he's got a little peg right there. So you can take this side of the whip, peg it into his hand right there, and just kind of give him a cool little attack pose there, holding his whip. There you go. And why don't we, yeah, there you go. We can get crazy. We can also give him his slap chop. I'm going to call him slap chop attack right there. Give him a slap chop attack along with the whip. I think that looks pretty cool right there. What do you think? I like it. So, yeah, very cool little figure. I know a lot of people wouldn't see this as part of a Prime series, but again, because it was in that poster, I think it falls in, and he's part of my Prime family. He's on my shelf, and I wanted to include him in this series. So that's very cool little figure. I like it a lot. Very articulated, very fun. You can pull off some really crazy poses with this guy. It deserves checked out. It's fairly cheap. It's not exactly a very sought after figure, so if you're interested, you can actually find him relatively cheap online. So I think that about covers Transformers Beast Wars Transmetals 2 Optimus Minor. What did you think of this figure, and what would you like to see me review next? Let me know by leaving me a comment, give me some thumbs up, subscribe and share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time on That's Just Prime.